Hi, welcome. So here we are. So we'll meditate a bit and then we'll have some tea and then I'll give a talk. Okay. So hearing the bell fade and maybe some things fading with it. Some of the stuff that fills the mind. Your ideas about what you need to get you through to the next moment. So just, you can begin if you wish, just by noticing. Not trying to do anything about the mind, but just noticing. And you might notice that the mind quiets itself. It takes care of itself. And tonight, if you wish, we can work with this koan. There are two friends talking. They're both teachers, actually. And one of them says, what does a Bodhisattva of great mercy do with all... How does she use all those hands and eyes? Well, it's like reaching behind you for a pillow in the night. Oh, I understand. What do you understand? All over the body are hands and eyes. I like that. But I'd say it a little differently. How would you say it? All through the body are hands and eyes. So the embodiment, the goddess of mercy and compassion, in the image has actually, you sometimes see 1,000 hands and eyes, but that's just a gesture at the 84,000 that she has to help you to reach out with wisdom. So that whatever is happening, it can be healed and freed. If you're in prison, you are freed. If you're burning, the flames are cooled. If you're drowning, you escape the waters. What does she do? How does she use them, all those hands and eyes? It's like reaching behind you for a pillow in the night. All over the body are hands and eyes. All through the body are hands and eyes. So without trying to sort it, my suggestion is don't try to sort out that image too much. Just let it keep company with you. Whatever part touches your heart, enters your vision, just keep company with that. And trust that the Bodhisattva of great mercy will take care of the rest. That your mind and your heart will know how to heal themselves. And the only thing, I suppose, to remember is don't judge yourself, don't judge how you're doing it. Don't worry about doing it wrong. That you're here, that you're meditating, that you're keeping company with this great koan, that's enough. Rest in that. Let yourself be carried. So the two friends, they were talking about deep things together, and one said, how does the Bodhisattva, how does the goddess of great mercy use all those hands and eyes? How does she use all those hands and eyes? The other friend said, it's like reaching behind you for a pillow in the night. I understand. What do you understand? All over the body there are hands and eyes. I like that. I'd say it a little bit differently though. How would you say it then? All through the body are hands and eyes. Reaching behind you for a pillow in the night. All over the body, hands and eyes. All through the body, hands and eyes. So, how does she use all those hands and eyes? How does the Bodhisattva of great mercy use all those hands and eyes? It's like reaching behind you for a pillow in the night. Oh, I understand. All over the body are hands and eyes. I'd say it a little differently. All through the body are hands and eyes. Excellent. Very good. So now we have tea and a break, and then we have a talk. I think of this as one of the great koans that will accompany, if you spend some time with it, it'll start accompanying you wherever you go. And it will be in the midst of your life, and you'll find it in your work, and you'll find it when you're talking with people, and you'll feel that quality of trust, and also the quality of brightness that keeps appearing with this koan. I was thinking about, I was just teaching this koan a couple of days ago at a retreat where I was teaching, and it was kind of funny because it was pouring with rain, and it was down near, in the Santa Cruz Mountains, you know, and everything was very still except the rain, and the deer like kneeling in the garden, just completely still, like ancient mound of deer, you know, and even the turkeys were quiet, you know. And so it's this touching thing, and everything seems really clear, and then I find my mind wandering, and I'm thinking about this young woman who was part of the retreat, who's going into school, she's going to a big, difficult college, but I mean, she'll do great, probably, but, and I was thinking how I was a little concerned for her and how I wasn't sure she had the support she needed to navigate through, you know. Not that she wasn't smart enough or anything, but somehow the cultural support for, like, this is how you hack a university, that sort of thing, which the all essential knowledge. You know. And so I'm thinking about that, and I thought, wow, my mind was really still, and now it's wandering off to this university and UCLA and things and stuff like that. And then, oh, that's the hands and eyes, you know, like I'm concerned about her, and that was fine. Then after, at some stage, we put a plan in place to support her and stuff. So, in other words, whatever you're doing is probably it, with the hands and eyes, you know. If you think your mind is distracted, it's probably in some way an action of that compassion, you know. And so for you to just start noticing how much generosity there is in every human day and every human moment, really, you know. And you might start noticing for yourself as you get less afraid. With the meditation, makes people less afraid, and so there's more kindness, just automatically. It's not like you add kindness; it's like you take away the fear, and the kindness is there. And so I think the koan is like that. And it begins with a kind of beautiful thing. It's like reaching, you know, reaching behind you, reaching to the pillow in the night, you know, this vast movement of reaching, you know. And the whole universe is reaching like that. You reach through to the other side of the galaxy, you know, like that. And for me, you know, that's saying that you can be half asleep. You know, in fact, you are in a way. When you're doing something true, you're not worrying about how it is and how you're doing it. It's just appearing like that, reaching in the night. You know. And I like that quality in life. You know, of knowing that if you put your foot out, you step into the Tao. Wherever you put your foot, it will land. There's another koan that says, knock on any door, someone will answer. You know. And knock on any door, yeah. And so, and then the other interesting thing is that there's a conversation about it, and I think that's part of the core of the ancient Zen tradition, is people talk about reality. And the koan stories like this are really an attempt to describe reality, how people really see things, you know, and experience things. And so some people think of Zen as being kind of austere and shades of grey, you know, sort of in the aesthetic, you know, that's very minimalist and so on. And in a way, that's a kind of interesting thing because like that aesthetic does clear space in the mind, you know. And you can feel that sometimes in the old Chinese brush paintings where there are these small figures in this vast space and cliffs and waterfalls and trees, but there's a lot of white space on the paper, you know, that spaciousness. But it's also true that Zen was founded in conversations. And actually, the old Chinese, they meditated, they did sitting meditation, but meditation was just what you were. Like if you're walking about, you're going about, you're never not in that field of the koan. So if you just think, oh, hands and eyes, you're meditating. Yeah. And so don't be a snob about it. And if you don't think you're not meditating, you're meditating. So it's like that. There's this sort of way of, oh yeah, it's easier than I thought, that quality. And then you'll find that kind of hands and eyes stuff, you'll find these moments. Another way to look at the hands and eyes is there are moments of kindness or generosity or moments of clarity in life even, you know, that seem to have a profound meaning, you know. And one of the other people I was doing the retreats with told me this great story about he's trying to get from a meeting to the hotel in Mexico City, and he's allowed so much time, and it's important, and all these people, blah blah, you know, and he gets in the cab, and boom, solid traffic, like the worst traffic, you know, and so the cab driver knows he needs to get to there in a hurry, and so the cab driver does this great stunt driving thing where he spins on the wheel and goes down narrow cobble streets and then here and another one and then back here and gets one car ahead. And which is so great, and it's such a great metaphor for like when we're trying really hard. You know. And he realized, God, I hate this. I hate being flung about in the cab. I'm there too. I want him to go down. I want him to get one car ahead because it's better than like sitting here with my impatience and I'm really striving and struggling. And then he realized, oh, that's the koan. You just like, that's the reaching, you know. And he realized, oh, I'm happy now. It's all right. I'm just here. Even my striving, I can relax into that. And when you can relax into that, you're free. You know, then it's hands and eyes are everywhere. And he said, so he told the driver, it's fine, we'll get there when we get there. So the driver didn't stop, but it was fine by him. he wasn't caught up in it. So the way it just, things like that just appear like that, the kindness of the world. And you'll notice that life is full of these small moments that have profound significance, and there isn't a moment in your life that doesn't. And in a way, when you think your life is pointless or flat, there's a kind of resistance we're holding on to. We're holding ourselves out of life. You know. I had this great moment over the holiday when it was New Year, and I walk out into the garden, and there's this single yellow rose there, and it was like it filled the garden, and suddenly I saw the yellow rose. And I remembered in the winter garden, that was a sign of magic, like in Beauty and the Beast had roses in winter, and the whole plot started moving on. I was feeling a bit shaggy and beast-like, you know, winter sort of thing, and the dog and I looking at a rose, that kind of quality. You know. And there's this wonderful thing, and oh yeah, hands and eyes, you know, that's right here. And things. Oh, I noticed that I was again outside, and I saw a rat was like running across, and you know, usually they scuttle, and it just stopped and looked at me. I nodded, and it just moved on. And so that kind of, that's another hands and eyes. You know, there's a kind of beauty in things. You know, that even the tiny, small things have it. You know, and of course the really big things have it too. Dying and you know, being really there for a friend who needs you, things like that. But it's always here, and And you'll find that your life is full of those hands and eyes moments. And as for like, one of them says, all over the body, hands and eyes, and the other one says, well, actually literally he says, that's only 80% of it, I think. Well, what would you say? I'd say, all through the body, hands and eyes. One of the old commentators said, 80% is all of it. It's like, the thing I like about it is not the fact, is the fact that they're exploring it and having a conversation with it, and that's, in a way, that's what we do. Like, part of our mission statement is conversation, discovering reality through conversation. And so conversation too is meditation, like that. And there were some other commentators said some kind of cool things here. Well, yeah, there are actually 84,000 in the mythology of Kuan Yin. You'll often see a Kuan Yin with 8 arms or even 1,000 arms. Or 1,000 Kuan Yins with 1,000 arms. And the idea of the insane repetition of the universe is there. And then another teacher pointed out that it's like all those hands and eyes. It's like the image of the net of Indra, and the net of Indra is an old image for reality, where the reality is an infinite net, and where each thread crosses, there's a jewel. And when you look at the jewel, the whole of the universe is visible in each jewel. Each jewel contains the universe, actually. And so somehow all these hands and eyes moving, it's all managing itself, and the beauty of that. And it's a way of describing the inconceivable, I guess, everywhere in the body. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, and I suppose the other thing I want to say is, like, there's a lot of dark emotions and dark stuff going on, and feeling of, like, the center of things not holding the way we had hoped that it might, and things like that, that we hope to live in a less chaotic and less violent time, and I think that's a sincere hope, but it doesn't seem to be being fulfilled. And so as people who actually have a true path, we have the times we have, and that's kind of important to I don't need to think somebody else should have these difficult times. I'd like cruisy times. We have the times we have, and that's not a bad thing. It's kind of interesting that we have it, and so we can hold joy and love in our hearts as we walk through those times. And somebody's got to do that. Somebody's got to love the times, and it's you and me. If you're wondering whose job it is to be a Bodhisattva now, look at your hands. Look at your hands. You want to see what Bodhisattva's hands like? Look at your hands. Yeah. Don't be chicken. Look at your hands. You can't dodge this. They're your hands. This is your world. This is your practice, and you're enough for it. That's the other thing. It's like you can even do it reaching behind. It's like reaching behind you. You don't have to plan it out and like think really smart about it. Like it's reaching behind you when you're half asleep and you want a pillow, like that. There's a way in which the deeper you go into the way and the path and the practice, it becomes like that, And so you're not so troubled by the things that arise because you're not fighting with yourself about it. So I think that's, and we can control what we can, and we can certainly be kind when we can, and save a rainforest when we can, things like that. But the great course of things is vast and beyond us, you know. So we do what we can, and that's what we do. That's what it's our task to do, you know, to walk through. And sometimes that can get very dark, you know. Like I've been reading stories of the Northwestern, you know, the people who did those great carved poles with ravens and whales and things in them, the Haida, and one of those peoples. And I've been reading stories of them, and by the time there's some of their stories taken down from their storytellers, and there's something Dharma about, something Zen about their stories, you know. And by the time the storytellers were talking, they'd lost 9 out of 10 of their people. So they lost 9 out of 10 of the people they grew up with. They knew they were related to, you know, smallpox, murder, ecological devastation, all that sort of thing. And so, nonetheless, they're telling these beautiful stories. They're full of kind of kindness and intelligence, you know, and light. And one of the storytellers, one of the kind of genius storytellers, is blind because of the smallpox, you know, stuff. So in a way, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You have a koan, you have a path, and it's yours. It's not mine to think I should be in a different life. I'm not living the wrong life. I'm living the right life. This is a beautiful life, and so have your beautiful life. And the hands and eyes of Kuan Yin are with you. So I want to stop there. And anything? What did you notice when you meditated? It was a great thing to meditate together with a great koan. So you might have noticed something. Yeah.
My mind was immediately. And which drew me to the. So I was really imagining. I've been enjoying when I reach for this pillow. It's the right pillow. You know, it's not like some disappointing pillow. You know, sometimes it's not so good. And when I wake up part way in the night and I reach for it, it fits just right under my neck. And I was thinking, that's what mercy is. Me drawing something to me for my own comfort. What a cool thought. That's what, you know, so anything that's difficult, I bring it like this. That's interesting. So anyway, that was the, I noticed as I went through difficulties, it's just like, oh, that's, you know. And then other people experience however they do.
Yeah.
But that's...
Yeah, definitely you've got to be part of, if you leave yourself out of the kindness and the loving quality, then it's not it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the difficulties are, it's just, that's how we do mercy, is by pulling it in, you know.
Yeah, I translate it as mercy, although that's used sometimes, you'll see in old texts, called that in modern times it's usually called compassion, which is kind of accurate, you know, too. And compassion means to undergo with, you know, to do with, you know. And mercy is an interesting thing because mercy is different. I mean, compassion's maybe not that different, but mercy's, you get mercy whether you deserve it or not. You didn't do anything to deserve it. You don't have to have a higher opinion of yourself. You're going to have to be okay as you are, you know, before you improve yourself, you know, before you get kinder or revise your childhood or take back the harsh words you shouldn't have said to the person you love or whatever like that. That it's got to be somehow just for being here, for being alive, you know, just like the tree has, or the animal, you know, that rat had, or the deer in the rain have, you know, that it's the beauty of and the kindness of life is yours, and it belongs to you, holds you, reaching for the pillow that your sister gave you. Was there more there?
was interesting because for me, it went through a couple of transitions, but the first thing, when you said the thing about the hands and the eyes, an image came up that wasn't real comfortable. It was, and so then I watched my mind go through the judgment part, which is, wow, that's a pretty negative image. You're doing this wrong. So, and so then all the many eyes became just one eye that I saw that with, and it was a merciful eye that let me see first the judgment.
Yeah.
Let me see the judgment, and so that felt kind and merciful. So I said, that's the mercy. Many eyes became one eye, which was an eye of mercy. Mm-hmm. So.
And I think we do have to have the kindness for the parts of ourselves that aren't kind. And you'll notice that if you're not kind, you're always starting with yourself. You're not kind to yourself, you know. It's an interesting thing just to notice. But if I were kind to myself, then I don't know, I'd be awful. I would never correct myself. But you don't correct yourself anyway, so. You don't improve yourself anyway, so knock it off. In a way, if you lift off if you stop whipping the donkey actually is a lot happier and behaves better. Hands and eyes.
So, I got, I just kind of sat with it, and it kind of happened was just the hands and eyes were basically everything, and that openness allowed all the hands and eyes, or sort of to experience, to be just almost like a field of awareness, or without so with that, and it's sort of open when there's no pushing or pulling, you know, it's just this, and it's the eyes open, you know. And so, and the reaching was like kind of like when you're driving really fast on a mountain road, you're not thinking, it's just, you just there, you know where to go and what to do, and so it's an automatic, almost non-thought, you know, as soon as you're thinking, you're driving, you're crashing, right? So yeah, it's just that just the non-pushing, I guess, or just this, you know, kind of thing, is what kind of came to me for that.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, there's an effortless quality. Yeah. And you feel that's how, you know, that's the Taoist quality in Zen, you know, that it's in this koan too, that effortless quality, that you're really in the Tao, things flow, you put out your foot, the ground rises to meet it, as in the Irish blessing, you know, and things follow, and you get gifts from life, and gifts don't have to be expected, and you don't have to have earned them. And the gifts you give, somebody doesn't have to have earned either. You love people because you love them, not because they earned it. And you're kind to people. Oh, I'm waiting for you to earn it before I'm going to be kind to you. Like, seems ridiculous when you put it that way, right? It's like I think I'll just have to love you anyway. Anybody else? Any other comments? Yeah.
I spent the day today carrying my grandson around while we went to the zoo. And in the midst of a lot of other things going on in my mind, but this koan, this sense of all these hands holding sort of the universe with the same tactile sense that I had carrying my little grandson around. And I had this sense of, you know, in this one little being is all of it, and in these hands all over the world and the universe, this sort of loving embrace, I guess is the way to describe that.
Nice.
I had this moment of when the line about the hands and eyes are throughout you, seeing them in my body, finding all those places where I might not give myself kindness or compassion, the places where I judge myself probably unworthy. And the word mercy is somehow easier. It does have that quality of you don't have to do anything at all to earn it, but also it kind of assumes that there's suffering. Like you wouldn't give mercy to somebody who's not in some kind of pain. So it's like the hands and eyes could find those little painful parts that I might even hide from myself. And so I was thinking about what is this being that does that with the hands and eyes? What has this kind of power to actually give this mercy, or this beauty that's in the universe? And I just thought it's the quality itself. It's we might create a deity or a goddess or something from that, but it's the thing itself that has that magical power to open, to heal, to connect within us. Or the hands and eyes can turn outward and touch, or they can sense, bring things in. So that was what I got.
Nice. Yeah. The radiance. Yeah.
I was feeling how much better the hands and eyes are, and how you can be successful, or you can have all the things you want in the world, or how those are all kind of conditional, and you can have them or not have them. But then like seeing a yellow rose, that just comes. But that's it's nice to think that you already have it, like you're already very rich without doing anything.
Yeah. Everybody has this mild galaxies inside. Yellow roses and everything else. Yeah. What's that?
And rats.
Rats. Yeah.
Well, I usually go for hot chocolate in the afternoon, and it was really pouring the other day. So I went in, and I like to sit at a particular table, and there's a man sitting there. Mm-hmm. He was sort of in a hood, and he was kind of not hiding in it, but he was like protecting himself in it, and he was had kind of a twisted posture. And I didn't want to sit next to him because I was afraid I'd catch something, right? So I kind of walked around him, and then I realized it was somebody I knew, a homeless guy who I run into from time to time. And he was sitting there, he was drenched, and he was wearing bedroom slippers that were just sopping wet. He was just sitting there, and he was looking so dejected and so battered. And so as we were going through this koan, I was thinking, what was the compassion for him? And what were the eyes for him? And I realized that I did really feel for him at that moment, and how difficult his life was right then. So I gave him some money, and he thanked me for it. It was enough to get coffee so he could continue to sit there. But then I realized, as I was thinking about this, that my hands were the hands, and I had seen him. Those are my eyes.
Yeah.
So that's where the compassion came from.
Yeah, it's those simple little things. And it's not like you're doing it right, you're just doing what you're moved to do, Mm-hmm. And I like that moment when, that guy's creepy, wait, I know him. That's so human, right? It's like my prejudices are right there. Oh, They're just my prejudices. I was walking around, the guy I was doing a retreat with, we did walking meditation along the cliffs in Santa Cruz, and just walking along, and people bike past us and skateboards and things, and then, but then I noticed that I found out that he's extremely well informed about. He stops and talks to the various homeless people in Santa Cruz, and he knows like what their medical situation is, how much they owe the city because they're always getting these infringements, and then they get fined because they don't have the money to pay the infringements, and then they're in the wrong place and they get fined for that, and so on. And he's quite well informed about the impossibility of their plight, and he just, and I think he helps people sometimes in medical care and stuff, but mainly he's just like somebody witnessing and meeting. It's the eyes of hands and eyes, and it was kind of nice. And then the conversations we had were just like conversations you had with any acquaintance in the street. They were, oh, you're homeless, and I've got to act weird. That's part of the hands and eyes too. Go ahead.
I liked what you said about when you take the fear away, that the kindness comes, and immediately I was thinking about different fears, and then I said, okay, let go of those, and that was really beautiful. And in the meditation, thinking about hands and eyes, I practice yoga and teach yoga, and so I'm always those images are always really important, that you have eyes and hands all through your body, and as you begin to move into different poses, that you can only do what you can do, and so you have to keep exploring your interior body with your hands and your eyes, so that you can kind of free yourself and let yourself go. So it was the hands from the outside and then the hands from the inside. And I like that, take the feet out.
Yeah, I guess it's a kind of yoga koan, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's also all through the universe, hands and eyes, and I like the thing about the fear too. Even the fear, when you notice it, then it becomes a hand and an eye, and because then you realize, oh, there's this loving quality underneath.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes. Well, I think maybe we did it, and thank you very much. It's lovely to, as I said, it's an ancient thing to sit around and talk about the Dharma, tell these strange little stories, but they're really about how we can enter reality and be held by the loving quality in the universe, and how we can perhaps in some ways share that. And so thank you. It's nice to do it together. And what do I think we have announcements and then a little bit of chanting. So.
I think I'm on. Unless we have someone else who does announcements. There's a retreat. Okay. What do we have? Thursday in here from 12 to 1 there's meditation, and then Sunday morning 10:30 to noon. Monday we have a retreat in San Rafael, and so the center will be actually closed until the following Monday. So we close the Monday, the Thursday, and the Sunday, and then we'll be back. So come in. If you want to attend talks at that retreat, get in touch with Jan Black, who's the registrar, and you can ask me. It's a fun thing to do, to go to a retreat and go see a talk. You get to sort of draft everybody's meditation energy. And if you want to still be a commuter for that retreat, the rooms are gone, but you could actually commute and have meals if you wanted to. That again is on the website. There's another retreat retreat in Bolinas about dragons. And then there is a mailing list in the back. If you are not on the mailing list and you want to be, put your email address on there legibly. If you want to not get on the mailing list, just write it any old way. And there's a donation box in the back, last but not least, in fact, not at all least, this box into which you put stuff and we keep on making Zen. So if you want that to happen, put something in there. Thank you. So now I'm going to become the minstrel.
Very good.
Did you like books passed out?
Yes, why don't you? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, doll. There's music in this one. Rachel, do you need this?
That means you have to
I
say.
don't need any music.
Special meeting. But this particular, you don't know, I can't carry it to you.
Very good.
Now we put the music to the Heart Sutra at the beginning, but don't worry about it. Okay, so page 3. Refuge. I take refuge in awakening. I take refuge in the way. I take refuge in my companions. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham dhammam sangham. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham dhammam sangham. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham dhammam sangham. Page 10. Bodhisattva's vow. When I look deeply into the real form of the universe, everything reveals the mysterious truth of the Tathagata. This truth never fails. In every moment and in every place, things can't help but shine with this light. Realizing this, our ancestors gave reverent care to animals, birds, and all beings. Realizing this, we ourselves know that our daily food, clothing, and
Even though someone may be a fool, we can be compassionate. If someone turns against us, speaking ill of us and treating us bitterly, it's best to bow down. This is the Buddha appearing to us, finding ways to free us from our own attachments, the very ones that have made us suffer again and again and again. Now on each flash of thought, a lotus flower blooms, and on each flower a Buddha. The light of the Tathagata appears before us, soaking into our feet. May we share this mind with all beings, so that we and the world together may grow in wisdom.
All living things are one seamless body, then pass quickly from dark to dark. We remember you who cared for us and are gone. You who are ill, you who are at war, who are hungry and who are in pain. May you heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to
Margot name.
Mike, Beth.
Tony's yours.
Hercules.
Cross on over, cross that river, set us free. Cross on over, cross that river, set us free. Cross on over, cross that river, set us free. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all awakened beings, great beings, the heart of perfect wisdom. Page 14. Before boundless vows, I vow to break all the meaning
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hands and eyes will take you out into the night and accompany you all good days.